We spend fortunes trying to make our modern homes breathe, battling stale air and that creeping musty smell. Our houses are sealed tight, filled with machines. But then there's another kind of home, built with simple wood and hand tools, no power, no fancy systems, and it always smells cleaner than any place you've ever entered. These two worlds of home building stand miles apart. One holds a shocking truth about how to truly clear the air. So, what's the secret? Because on paper, an Amish home should have terrible air quality. Just think about it for a second. There's no electricity. That means no fancy HVAC system circulating the air, no purifiers, and no dehumidifiers running in the basement to pull out moisture. With big families, sometimes 8 or 10 people all living and breathing under one roof, plus all the steam from cooking and laundry, these homes should be humid, stuffy, and a perfect breeding ground for mold. Experts who study these houses even point to these exact risks. But anyone who has ever stepped inside one will tell you the complete opposite is true. They feel fresh, clean. The air just feels alive. And that contrast is what makes the whole thing so fascinating. Modern homes often depend on sealed walls, mechanical ventilation, and constant power to stay comfortable. But the Amish approach starts from the opposite direction. Instead of trapping air inside and forcing machines to manage it, their homes are often built to let air move naturally. Windows, doors, attics, porches, basements, wood stoves, and daily routines all become part of one quiet system. Nothing feels high-tech, but everything has a purpose. Fresh air enters, stale air escapes, moisture is managed, and the house breathes with the weather instead of fighting against it. It's not magic. It's a completely different building philosophy, a kind of forgotten science about how to work with nature to make a house breathe. It's a simple approach modern builders seem to have completely missed. So today we're going to peel back the layers and show you exactly how they do it. To understand the genius of the Amish approach, you first have to understand the massive mistake modern builders have been making for the last 50 years. It all started with a noble idea: energy efficiency. Think about it. To save on heating and cooling, the goal became to make our homes as insulated as possible. We sealed up every crack, installed triple-pane windows, and wrapped the entire building in materials designed to stop air from getting in or out. Essentially, we decided to live inside a perfectly sealed plastic box. On paper, this sounds great. Your furnace and AC don't have to work as hard, and you save money. But we completely forgot about one critical thing. A house needs to breathe. What happens when you seal a house shut? Well, everything we put into the air has nowhere to go. Every time you cook, take a shower, or even just breathe, you release moisture into the air. The cleaning products we use, the new carpet we install, the paint on the walls, they all release tiny chemical particles. In an old drafty house, that stuff would just float out through the cracks. But in a modern, airtight home, it just builds up. The air gets thick with moisture and pollutants, creating a stale, unhealthy indoor environment. It's the perfect recipe for mold, allergies, and that weird, stuffy smell you can never seem to get rid of. We've built ourselves high-tech, energy-efficient traps. And here's the most fascinating part. This isn't just a modern problem. A microbial consultant named Mr. Bennett, who has inspected around 700 Amish homes, discovered something surprising. Even without modern building materials, you can create the exact same trap. He found that in some cases, to conserve heat during the winter, an Amish family might intentionally block up the ventilation in their attic. They're trying to keep the warm air from escaping. And what happens? The exact same thing that happens in a modern suburban house. Without a way for air to escape, moisture gets trapped inside. The windows start to sweat with condensation. Mold begins to grow on varnished wood, on leather Bibles, and in the corners of rooms. If they use an unvented gas heater, dangerous fumes like carbon monoxide can start to build up with no way out. It's a powerful lesson. It proves that this problem has nothing to do with technology. It's about a fundamental law of building that we've forgotten. Any home, whether it's $1 million smart home or a simple farmhouse, becomes an unhealthy box if it can't breathe. And that's the key. The Amish didn't solve this problem by adding technology. They solved it by never forgetting that simple rule in the first place. So how does it work? How do the Amish build a home that breathes all on its own? It starts by thinking of the entire house as a simple machine, an engine designed to move air. The first part of this engine uses a basic rule of physics we all learn in science class: hot air rises. Amish homes are often designed with high ceilings. At the very top, you'll find attic vents or even a special kind of windowed structure called a cupola. Throughout the day, as the sun warms the house and people cook and live inside, all that warm, stale air naturally drifts upwards. When it reaches the top, it has a place to go, straight outside through the vents. This creates a gentle, constant vacuum. As the warm air leaves through the roof, it has to be replaced by something. So it pulls cooler, fresher air in through the windows and doors on the lower levels. This is called the stack effect, and it's basically a natural silent fan that's always running, constantly cycling the air in the home from bottom to top. But they don't just rely on vertical airflow, they master horizontal airflow too. They use large windows placed on opposite sides of the house to create a perfect wind tunnel. On a warm evening, they can open them up and let the cool night air blow straight through the building, flushing out all the heat that built up during the day. And they have another incredibly clever trick to keep the main house from overheating in the first place. It's called a summer kitchen. This is often a small, separate building or a screened-in porch away from the main living area. All the really hot activities, like canning vegetables or baking for a big family, happen out there. The intense heat and steam never even enter the main house, which makes a huge difference in staying comfortable without an air conditioner. But here's what makes this so fascinating. This natural air engine isn't automatic. It requires skill. An indoor air quality expert who has been inside around 700 Amish homes discovered something that might surprise you. He found that in the dead of winter, some families will block up those attic vents. Why? To keep precious heat from escaping, and instantly the air engine breaks. Just like in a modern home, the moisture from cooking, bathing, and breathing gets trapped. Condensation appears on the windows. Mold can start to grow on wooden furniture and leather-bound books. With an average of 8 to 10 people living under one roof, that air gets stale and fast. This proves that the system isn't just about design, it's about knowledge. It's about actively managing the house day by day, season by season. You have to know when to open the windows, when to close the vents, and how to balance saving heat with letting the house breathe. It's a constant hands-on relationship with your own home, a skill we've replaced with a thermostat. But the design of the house is only half the story. The other half is what the Amish don't put inside it. Think about the average modern home. It's filled with things that are constantly releasing chemicals into the air. That new car smell from a sofa, the gases from pressed wood furniture, the scent of vinyl flooring, or even just the heat humming off a dozen different electronic devices. These are things you just don't find in an Amish home. Their furniture is typically solid wood, passed down for generations. The walls are often made of simple wood or stone. By choosing not to fill their homes with modern, mass-produced goods, they sidestep a huge source of indoor air pollution that we take for granted. They've essentially eliminated the chemical soup that most of us are breathing every single day. But here's the twist. A simpler life doesn't automatically mean healthier air. In some ways, it just trades one set of problems for another. Remember that air quality expert, Mr. Bennett? The one who studied 700 Amish homes? He found that their biggest challenge wasn't chemical fumes, but something far more ancient: water. Without electric fans or dehumidifiers, managing moisture is a constant battle. High humidity can get trapped inside, leading to serious mold growth on the walls, furniture, and even clothes. That musty smell we associate with old buildings, it's a real risk in a home that can't just flip a switch to dry itself out. And that's not the only surprising danger he found. Because they don't use central heating, many Amish families rely on unvented gas heaters to stay warm in the winter. These can be a source of carbon monoxide. And what about tools? Instead of being stored in a separate garage, gas-powered equipment like lawnmowers or tillers might be kept in a mudroom or attached shed. Bennett found that gasoline fumes from that equipment can sometimes leak into the living space. So it's not a perfect system. It's a trade-off. Modern homes are sealed tight to be energy efficient, but they trap chemical pollutants inside, forcing us to use complex air filters and ventilation systems to fix it. Amish homes are built to breathe, but that same openness makes them vulnerable to humidity, mold, and even fumes from the simple machines they use to survive. The difference is how those problems are managed. We rely on technology. They rely on knowledge, daily habits, and a deep, hands-on understanding of the building they call home. So, it's clear now that the secret to a fresh-smelling Amish home isn't about fancy machines. It's about designing a house to breathe all on its own. They use simple physics like letting hot air rise and smart details like big windows and well-placed trees. But it's not some magic, flawless system. The expert we talked about, Mr. Bennett, found they still have their own struggles. Things like mold from trapped moisture or fumes from heaters and tools are real challenges they face. The difference is how they handle it. We rely on technology to fix our air problems. They rely on their knowledge, their daily habits, and truly understanding the house they live in. And that may be the part we've forgotten most. A healthy home is not just built once and then ignored. It has to be watched, opened, warmed, dried, cleaned, and adjusted with the seasons. The Amish way reminds us that comfort used to be an active relationship between people and the places they lived. You noticed where moisture gathered. You learned which windows caught the breeze. You understood when to open the house, when to close it, and when to let the sun do its work. That kind of awareness is quiet, practical, and deeply human. It makes you think, doesn't it? We spend so much trying to force our homes to be something they're not. Maybe the real lesson is to stop fighting nature and start working with it. To realize that clean air might not be something you buy, but something you build and live into your home. It makes you wonder what other simple, vital connections we've lost in our push for convenience. What other forgotten secrets are waiting to be rediscovered, if only we were willing to look? if you want to keep peeling back the layers on these hidden truths and see what else we can learn from the past, make sure you stick around for what's next.